Oh gosh.
Whoa. That was a lot of running.
Cordell, when you did the triple backflip over the car,
Yeah.
and Sammy, when you caught Cordell and then threw Cordell,
Yeah.
We did the speedball special. Yeah,
that was pretty sick.
Hey, Caleb, when you tripped and fell and skinned your knee real bad,
I was out for the rest of the game. That happened 10 seconds in.
Yeah.
But we got him. We got him, gang.
We got him.
Oh, God. Welcome to Junk House.
It's a psychobilly freakout!
That's right.
It was Grimbus.
Yeah, it was Grimbus. We got the Grimbus back. He's back in our basement,
Grimbus.
chain smoking.
We got Grimbus. My knee hurts real bad.
Oh, yeah.
I did bring a camp chair, and after I skinned my knee, it was on my back the whole time.
Yeah.
I did just
originally
sit
gonna be used
down.
as a shield, but
No. I was just sitting. That was a plan
just
for
gonna be
moment
for
one.
sitting.
It's for sitting.
Yeah, I really do think you set yourself up for this failure whenever you were like, yeah, I'm going to bring the camping chair.
Well, sometimes you just know that the other two people got it. So you know that you can just kind of sit down on this one and it'll be fine.
That is fair. I cannot blame you.
I was choosing my piece. I didn't want in on this tussle. I didn't want in on it. I was choosing my piece.
That's beautiful.
Just like J. Cole. Shout out J. Cole.
Shout out J. Cole.
I'm choosing my piece, Aubrey. I'm choosing my piece, Aubrey. But that brings up a very good point. So one of my favorite games is Sonic Heroes.
Okay.
It's not one of my favorite games, but it's a good game.
It's a good game.
They have a party of 3 for all of the different characters, and they each have subgroups. So like for Sonic's team, Sonic is speed, Knuckles is power, and Tails is flight. What are we? What's the Junk House?
Between those 3?
Between those 3, if we were in Sonic Heroes, if we were the heroes of Sonic Heroes.
Speed, power, flight?
Yes. I'm double checking, but from my memory, that is what I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a wild turn of events, am I speed?
Cordell might be speed.
So.
I think I'm the fastest of the 3 of us, which is I've never been the fastest of
It depends on what we are talking about.
Yeah, speed wise, because I can run pretty fast.
I bet I could outrun you. We gotta have a foot race sometime.
You are taller than me.
I think
I can.
I think I can cook a meal fastest of the 3 of us. I can.
True.
Ooh.
Okay.
I think I can eat a meal fastest.
We all eat pretty fast.
We're all speed eaters.
I think there's only one way to do this. Next time we're together, I'm gonna make a meal for the 3 of us.
Yep.
I'm gonna weigh out the exact same portion for each of us of the exact same thing. And whoever eats it the fastest wins,
Well, we gotta have a foot race first.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then eat the portioned meal.
We all actually have to make the meal too. Because that way we can
foot
test
race,
that.
Make the same meal, and then eat the meal we personally made. Time all 3, and then we have a secret 4th challenge, which is the one you don't want to win.
And that's only for figuring out who is speed. And we still got strength and flying for the other ones.
For strength, here's the 3 things you have to do.
Okay.
Watch Old Yeller and do not cry.
Done.
That's a good one.
That's strength of
easy.
That's emotional strength. bench press the other two people.
Sheesh.
Yo.
Okay, I'm that's not me.
It's
Caleb,
none
I don't
of
think
us.
you could. Yeah, none of us win that.
I could
one.
I could lift one of you for sure. I could lift
Which
both
one?
of you. I could
I
lift
feel
both
like
of
each
you
of
at
us
the
could
same
bench
time.
one of
But
us.
okay. Here's
I think Caleb is strength.
I think I'm strength.
Caleb has got to be strength.
I took Taekwondo for several years. I know how to throw a punch and kick. And I've been going to the gym. So
That's awesome.
Ooh.
I've
Yeah.
not.
I kind of want to do the speed challenges just for fun, but Cordell, I do think you're speed.
I do think I end
Cordell's
up being speed, and I do think most appropriately, Samantha, I do think you're flight.
I do think you are flight. I think you've probably
I can
been on
fly.
the most planes of
Yeah,
all
honestly,
of us.
yes, I have flown the most out of this group at the very least. So I'm down being Miles Tail Prowler.
I'm Knuckles.
I'm Sonic.
Also, that
Finally.
technically makes me Rouge for the bad team.
Who am I on the bad
Is Shadow
team?
the speed for the fast team?
Shadow the speed, and Caleb, you're a robot. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yo, his name's Robot. That's
His
not
name
true.
is Rowboat. Shit, what's his name? He's got like numbers in his name.
That does remind me of one of my favorite Community jokes where Abed is acting like RoboCop, but Britta hears Rowboat Cop. And he goes, yeah, she's a bad rowboat. Sinker.
Caleb, your name is E123 Omega.
That's sexy.
Yeah, it sounds like me.
That sounds just like you.
That's hot. I like
Dude,
that.
But like strength, we have to determine. Okay, because we have challenges for flight, or we have challenges for strength. Kinda. Look, we haven't really come up
Kinda.
with all of them. Could we just
Can I
have
jump
watch
the
Bambi?
highest?
Yeah, it's got to be who can jump the highest,
Who falls the slowest?
who falls the slowest,
Falls the slowest.
and who can smoke the most weed, because that's getting you real high. And I think Sammy's got us on all of them, because I
don't know
hate
the
to
jumping,
say,
but
but no, I think you can jump higher than Cordell and I. I think that's.
Hey, I've been practicing.
Have you?
No.
Falling the slowest, I feel like instead of us falling, here's what we do. Ready? We do the egg
test.
drop. We could do the egg
Yeah.
thing. We do the egg drop,
I'm down.
where you like build a craft around an egg and then drop the egg.
And so the one of us that is flight is the one that is like,
The best,
Doesn't
like
break
their
their
craft.
egg?
Yeah,
Well,
that doesn't
it
break
doesn't
the-
matter if it breaks the egg. It is just on how slow. Like whoever gets to the
okay,
ground last.
okay. I could, sure. Sure.
I've been real tempted to do the egg thing because I have a ton of Walmart bags and I feel like I can make a good parachute system out of some Walmart bags and some fishing
Ooh.
line.
Yeah, I think you got it, buddy.
See, Cordell, the way you said that, it's
What-
like
what
you
about it?
don't. It's like you don't believe in me. You
like you
don't
don't
believe in
trust.
my egg skills.
Caleb, if there's one thing I believe in this world, it's your egg skills.
Thank you.
There's one thing I believe in. It's when we read reviews that are really
Yeah.
bad. That's the meal you buy.
Woo!
Welcome back. We're going to read a half-star review about a movie, and they're going to guess what the movie is from the half-star review. This one's from Patrick Starr, 1976.
Thank you, Patrick Starr, 1976. I don't think that's your real name.
I
That's
do.
either a really old Patrick Starr or there's a lot of them. But here's the review. Absolutely garbage. I'm not sure why they make these films 3 hours long. Predictable, linear plot. The film didn't even have a soundtrack and then went to black and white randomly.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes.
I got this so fast. It's Dune Part 2.
It's Dune Part 2. Here's some more reviews because they're really funny, and this one is particularly crazy from Angelios. Probably pronounced that wrong, but
That was good.
Zendaya is so ugly, it's unreal.
What?
This
Well-
person is insane.
When you're wrong, you're wrong.
When you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. This one says from Heya. Giving half a star for the cinematography. Other than that, I had to refrain myself from breaking my laptop every time they pronounced Lisan al Gaib as Gaib.
What did they want to? That's how it's pronounced.
Is it Gabe?
That's how-
Did they think it's
that's how you say
Leeson
it.
Al Gabe?
I don't know, but they're wrong. Last one I got is from Anna, half-star review. Silly fashion ads compilation for 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Wrong.
Cool fashion ads.
Yeah. As someone who has seen neither Dune nor Dune Part 2,
Ooh.
I can already tell these people are wrong. Like,
Especially
it doesn't
the
actually take
Zendaya
much.
one, like-
Yeah. Like, there is a certain kind of person where just the way they talk about a movie or a book or something, you know they don't actually understand the point of anything they consume.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But speaking of that, we also have a Hugh Grant Lover 69 update.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Hugh Grant Lover 69. Thank you. I really
Uh,
do hope you get to 69, Hugh Grant.
They they recently watched a movie that I've never heard of, but it's called 24 Hours in Tesco. And I guess it's someone spending 24 hours in Tesco, but they reviewed it. Hugh Grant reviewed it and said, half star, Hugh Grant shops at Aldi.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm.
important.
Okay, but we've been beating around the bush.
We have a bush.
We have a bush outside and we've been beating around it. There's some crazy shit that has been going on, specifically in the world of rap,
Yes.
the last couple of weeks.
Yes. It is insane. My wife and I have been talking about it a lot because it's crazy.
Mhm.
I'm ready to dive into this one.
Let's dive into it. So we're of course talking about Kendrick v. Drake. It's been literally insane. Kendrick, let's start out with the timeline because Cordell knows very little
Straight up nothing.
other than what we've told, other than what we have said to him.
Wasn't listening.
Exactly.
You know those things that make me fun to be around and a good friend.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, not listening.
But yeah,
it's
it's like just over 2 weeks ago or so is when Push-Ups came out, right?
yeah. So it started with Kendrick's verse on a Future and Metro Boomin song called "Like That," and that came out March 22nd. And the biggest thing is he says in that is "fuck the big three," and the big three in rap is Kendrick, J. Cole, and Drake. So he says, "Fuck the big three, it's just big me." So that was like really the only diss that he said. And then Drake's like, well, J. Cole as well. J. Cole and Drake both were like, Gah! J. Cole came out with a thing called like 7-minute drill.
Yeah.
But he subsequently deleted it off of streaming. And during a concert, forget exactly what concert. It might have been Coachella or something. He like apologized to Kendrick and was like, yo, Kendrick's the best. Kendrick, stop. He saw what was coming. And I mean, that might have been the smartest thing J. Cole has ever done.
Yeah. I guess for what it's worth, I'll say. J. Cole choosing to back out when he did, what also sucked is that then the rap fan base mercilessly bullied J. Cole for a couple days.
Yes.
And we're
Yes.
calling him weak and saying he didn't know what he was doing and that he should stay in there. Now, people are actually writing apology letters and apology emails to J. Cole for making fun of him. Because, so, Cordell, I know you don't really pay attention to rap.
Nope.
And we are a podcast of 3 white people. We do need to say
Yes.
that right off the bat.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we are just observing this.
Observing from a distance. But I listen. Kendrick is like one of the artists that I actually really pay attention to and listen to.
Same.
Drake, I've listened to occasionally before because his beats and melodies are good.
Yeah. Even Kendrick says that in some of these diss tracks.
Yeah. The amount of stuff Kendrick has put out, if he directed that towards J. Cole as well, it would have just been that J. Cole and Drake need to retire. Because it's already at a point where it's like, Drake, you probably just need to quit. Like, you probably just need to stop while you're behind. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Like, Cordell, what did you say that you had heard before we?
I just heard something about one of them calling the other one a pedophile.
Okay.
mm-hmm.
Like very, very little information at all.
Which I think that's a good way. So they both have allegations that they have thrown at the other one. The Kendrick allegations from Drake are that he has abused his wife or his fiance, and that they're not married, even though they're fiancés, and that one of Kendrick's like right-hand mans is the actual father to one of Kendrick's fiance's children. Okay, those are like the big 3.
Okay. Yeah.
Kendrick's are you're an appropriator. You're actually a white man. You're a pedophile. You got a Brazilian butt lift. You have been using Ozempic. Your abs are fake.
Like plastic surgery for the abs.
Plastic surgery. What has come out as untrue, but he also was like, you have a daughter that you've been hiding. Like,
so
it's just like
Kendrick is like really punching way harder in the things he's saying.
Like,
Yeah.
if both of them are completely lying, Kendrick is telling the better story.
Yes.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. A lot of the things I keep saying is that like if Drake, it basically one common thread that I keep saying is that both of them are throwing out stuff, but a lot of the stuff they're throwing out, they need receipts. They need proof at this point to really get it in, you know? And one of the things that is also being lobbed at Drake by Kendrick is in the song Euphoria, which is Kendrick's first like response. There's a line where he says, talking about 20v1, well, it's 1v20, referring that Drake does not write his own music. It's a team of ghostwriters that he never credits.
Yeah, he straight up says if it's 1v20 if I have to fight people that write with you. It's like, yeah, like that. Yeah, the timeline has been crazy too. So like Kendrick did the first, it was just a verse and one line about fuck the big 3. Then J. Cole came out with his thing and then immediately dropped it. Then Drake came out April 13th with Push Ups, which was his first response. And like, I think the most he says in that one is, you're short.
You're short,
Kendrick,
and
you're
you need to
short.
do push-ups.
And I made money for you. And then Drake did his biggest fuck up. One of his biggest fuck ups of these songs. He made Tailor Made Freestyle, which is the one that he used AI voices of Tupac and Snoop. Like, what?
Which, like, the only thing that, like, it sucks that you used AI on a major release like that to do
in the
an
diss track.
artist on a diss track for an artist that's alive and still very prominent, and then an artist that is so well respected that people still wish he was alive. And also to use two of the most prominent West Coast rappers against this generation's most prominent West Coast rapper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Insane.
It's crazy. But then then after that, Taylor made Kendrick came out with Euphoria. Which, okay, we gotta be honest. Kendrick fucked up. There's a line where he's talking about Joel Osteen, which is the like super mega church preacher, TV evangelist. But he's talking about, so the line is like, am I battling Ghost or AI? I'm feeling like Joel Osteen. Funny, he was in a film called AI. He's thinking of Haley Joel Osment. He fucked up. He said the wrong person's name.
Oh, like a dummy.
Ah.
I can't believe, but no, obviously that's a joke. But I remember that Euphoria is insane. Starting it out, which that dropped April 30th. Fuck, and then May 3rd is when everything really started going down, because that's when 616 in LA. Like early in the morning, Kendrick came out with another song. That was kind of more, it was kind of chill. It wasn't as big as the other songs. And what people are now calling it as like a bait song. Because very soon, or not even like a few hours after that, Drake dropped Family Matters, which was a big 8-minute response to Kendrick. But then something crazy happened. Not even an hour after Family Matters dropped, Kendrick released Meet the Grams. So like I was chilling out with Only in a voice call on YouTube, listening to I think Family Matters, and we clicked on YouTube to go back to the main page, and just sitting there that said 7 minutes earlier was Meet the Grams, and Meet the Grams is Kendrick talking to Drake's family and being like, "Hey, I'm sorry, Adonis, that Drake is not in your life.
Yeah.
That he is not a good father to you. He's talking to his parents."
Yeah. Which we didn't get to listen that much earlier, but Cordell, I just want to read out the first 3 lines of Meet the Grams, because it sets the tone for the rest of the song, which is, "Dear Adonis, I'm sorry that man is your father. Let me be honest. It takes a man to be a man, and your dad is not responsive. I look at him and wish your grandpa would have wore a condom."
Yikes.
It only goes harder. Which it like, because then there is a open letter to Drake's mom, which simultaneously says, "You're responsible for how your son is now," and also says, "But you need to be getting his money because he's not giving you enough. He needs to be treating you better."
So all of this started because someone was like, yo, these 3 rappers aren't that good. And all of this is spun out of that.
So it basically started because the line fuck the big 3, it's the big me, was basically Kendrick saying, like, I don't like being compared to these other 2. That's basically all he's saying, is like, I don't like being compared. Yeah. It's just me.
And Kendrick was already part of the big 3. Like, it wasn't somebody punching up. It was like, fuck these other 2 people. Not even that
And-
big of a fuck you. It was just like, I'm the best.
Yeah, and egos are a silly thing.
Yeah,
And that's what
And,
rap
yeah.
is ego.
It's all
So like,
ego.
of course, Kendrick is gonna say a line, not probably trying to destroy Drake's whole emotions originally, and then Drake's like, no, because like one of Kendrick's line from Euphoria is they're chipped by your throwaway, which is him saying like Drake got pissed off. Drake and
Yeah.
J. Cole got pissed off by something he just wrote and just said. Like,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
he didn't
it
care
was-
about.
It was not that big of a deal. It was just a thing written, said, moved on, and they got really heated. And it is
Exactly.
escalated to the point where like there are accusations of pedophilia and domestic abuse. Like
Yeah.
this was a throwaway line, and these grown adults are trying to destroy lives over it. And I simply don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
one of the really interesting things that I don't think a lot of people are talking about is that Kendrick's first song, Euphoria, if you go through line by line, he is telling you everything he's going to say in the next songs.
Mhm.
Because there's the line of like, we're talking about Pusha P, but let's talk about Pusha T. Pusha T is the rapper who exposed that Drake had a hidden son.
Yeah.
So he's already saying, I'm going to do that. He's like, I've heard that you have a hidden daughter. I'm doing it. Like, he is telling you from the get go that that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. John Green is a great author who one of my favorite tweets to come out of the last few weeks was John Green tweeting, maybe don't go up against the rapper who has a Pulitzer Prize.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does not sound like a wise decision.
And it's not.
Well, because after Meet the Grams, not even a day later, Kendrick dropped a third diss track. And this
Dang.
one is called Not Like Us. And Cordell, remember that picture that we showed you? So
Yeah.
that's Drake's house. It's a picture of Drake's house. There are pings on it all over that signify that there are child predators, sexual offenders in that building.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And that's
Yeah.
just the cover. That's just the album art.
Well, and that's what like each of the songs, the album art, because like even the Meet the Grams album art, Olivia pointed this out to me. So my wife is
My wife.
really smart. My wife.
There you
It
go.
is
Thank you.
so the Meet the Grams album cover is one of Kendrick's shirts. Or not one of Kendrick's, sorry, one of Drake's shirts with 3 prescriptions with Drake's legal name on it, a receipt for jewelry, and like all this stuff that basically points to Drake having an Ambien prescription, which most people are like, oh yeah, that's a sleep drug. It's also commonly used as a roofie to get people that way.
Golly.
There's the Ozempic. There's also a mysterious bag in one of the corners that you can't really see. It is just crazy how like through that picture alone, Kendrick also showed, hey, Drake, you can't trust anybody that's working with you because somebody who's working with you sent me this picture to use as the cover.
I didn't know that part. From I remember people going around saying that like there was stuff stolen from Drake's dad. And that was what all the stuff was.
So, which then also raises a concern of then why is it written for Drake? Like, why would a script be written for Drake if it's for Drake's
Yeah.
dad?
What is because it seems like many fans of Toronto suggest apparently it's changed now. What's up? It's editor Mantha. This probably isn't the last time you're going to hear me this episode. They did actually change the art for Meet the Grams because it is now being said that that original picture that they used was a leak by Drake and his team. Another trying gotcha for Kendrick. But still, it's insane. Like, yeah, like that's...
Yeah. But yeah. So like Not Like Us comes out and it's popular enough that like this is a diss track that is being played in clubs already.
Yes. Yeah. Rick Ross posted on his Instagram story that he was at a party and people were playing it.
Because it's a banger of a track, and it goes down a few things. Number one, it is Drake it's Kendrick not only accusing Drake, but all the people he works with of being sexual abusers, sexual predators, pedophiles, a number of things. And then goes through and says, Drake, here's how you're appropriating the culture that you're not a part of.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And goes through and lists artists Drake has worked with, specifically from Atlanta, and says like, okay, you worked with this person, they gave you this. You worked with this person, they gave you this. You don't own any of that. That is not yours.
And he doubles and triples downs on the pedo accusations.
Yeah.
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor.
That's brutal. That one's solid.
There's also there is a line in there that is absolutely wild. I'm pulling it up so I don't misquote it. Because the amount of just okay. Here's a wild line that the history of it is insane, which is, ain't that something? B-Grad stands for bitch and you're Malibu's most wanted. I think 90% of people that hear that do not realize what's going on.
I don't.
Yeah.
Malibu's Most Wanted is a Jamie Kennedy movie about a white rapper who is trying to be successful. So his dad pays black actors to be around him so he can seem more cred worthy. And the rapper's name in the movie is B-Rad. So it is like, in that part of the song, the flow breaks completely. So Kendrick had to make the choice to break the flow so he could keep this line in here about a movie that when Comedy Central didn't know what to play in 2005 to 2008, they would play that movie.
Oh my God.
It's so wild.
It's insane. And then Drake came out with a response. The title is a good joke because all of Kendrick's, like a lot of songs leading up to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers were the heart part blank. So Drake called this one the heart part 6. Do you want to know my favorite part of his response?
Yes.
When they talk about him liking underage girls, he specifically says, if that was the case, I would have been arrested already. I'm too famous to do that. Let me find the exact lines.
What?
Yeah, no, that's basically the line,
That's
though.
basically it.
Because that's it. It's just him saying, like, I can't do that. They would have arrested me by now.
That's stupid and dumb and stupid.
Yeah.
It's like, on the accusations of, like, you have a hidden daughter, he was like, oh, that's a lie that I made up so that you would fall for it.
Yeah. Yeah, apparently that was a lie.
Here's the thing. I don't think that's a lie. I genuinely, because at this whole time, one of the ways that Kendrick has been referring to Drake is the master manipulator. The ultimate manipulator move in response to you have a hidden daughter, I honestly think is, wow, I cannot believe you fell for that.
It's me once again. From what I could find too, the Drake having a daughter rumors started like 9 years ago. So I'm not saying they're 100% true, but it seems like there's a little more information than what we have now. Wow, you fell for my trap card. I don't have a daughter. Shoves daughter away.
Yeah. Like that's really what that line felt like. And the fact that he kept doubling down on like, you really fell for that. Ha ha ha. I've got you. You're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also, Kendrick has not brought up Millie Bobby Brown at all.
And he brought it up.
He brought it up. He was the one that brought it up. It's like, dude, that was weird for you to be as close to her when she was like 14 or whatever.
It's not only that. We have confirmed proof that Drake had a countdown until they're 18 for Billie Eilish.
Oh.
Like, it's gross.
This one's a quick turnaround between editor's notes, but I needed to add that there is footage of Drake dancing with and feeling up a 17-year-old that he was like, I feel so guilty, obviously, while he was much older. But yeah, he was saying, I feel so guilty, I shouldn't be doing this, but you're so hot, kind of thing. Yeah, it's real gross. It was crazy that Drake even responded. Because how do you, especially with this response, it's not good.
Well, I think it gets back to something we were talking about earlier, but just that rap is ego. And
yeah,
if ego is determining what you're doing, I think that means you're more willing to do something that could be bad because you're not thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I was watching an Anthony Fantano last night talking about Drake's, and he somebody in the chat made a good point. Drake says, Drake is not a name that you're going to see on no sex offender list. Easy does it. It wouldn't say Drake, it would say Aubrey. So, Aubrey Graham. So, yeah, it won't be on. He also says, you won't check me. Let me find it. You won't see me like looking at a teenager twice. So he'll allow himself one look, but not twice. Yeah, I'd never look twice at no teenager is the line. He gives himself one for free.
I guess that kind of means though that like you look at anybody once, you know, like you pass someone on the street, you look at them. It's about the looking back, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then something funny happened, and I think I want to like Metro Boomin. So there is a line in one of Drake's tracks where he says, Metro, just get back to the drums. Basically saying that this producer, Metro Boomin, should just not even be involved. So then Metro decides to create a beat called BBL Drizzy, which is basically making fun of Drake for getting a BBL, and then posts it on all platforms and says, hey,
for free,
every rapper that wants to get in on this and diss Drake using this beat, the one I like the most, I'll make a beat for you for free, and you can keep all the royalties from whatever song you use it for. So now
it's a good ass beat.
So like my favorite thing is like Kendrick is doing the thing of like, I'm keeping it to where I'm attacking him. I'll, find some producers to work with me. Metro Boomin has said, okay, there are thousands of people that want a Metro Boomin beat, and I'm offering a free one. So it's turning into thousands of people writing Drake diss tracks over this beat, making fun of him. It's just so
It's-
funny. It's just, I don't
This
know.
is
It's crazy.
generational level. Like they're gonna talk about this rap beef in the future.
I mean, I think this is essentially like, we still talk about Tupac and Biggie
Yeah.
and that rap beef.
Mm,
What was that?
Okay,
face? What you
Cordell
looking
doesn't
at?
talk about it.
well, no. Here's my thought on it, right? And I said
Uh-huh.
something like this to Sammy earlier before we were recording, but the thing about rap beefs back in the day was there was actual skin in the game, right?
Mhm.
When you were beefing and you were talking about like coming after them and their people, you meant it, right? Those people actually shot at each other, actually killed each other, actually were out there in the street living up to everything they said. These are super rich people living in the cushiest housing you could imagine, flying their private jets everywhere they go, have an entourage with them always. Like, these are people who do not have to fear for anything ever, talking big talk behind screens. That is what I will say the big difference here is I don't buy into the like, oh man, this is on Biggie and Tupac levels. No, not even a little bit.
But here's
These people are all talk. There is no way to back them up.
I disagree with you a little bit. I agree with you on like, yeah, there's probably not going to be any physical violence. With the allegations that are being thrown around,
Yeah.
this is at the point where it's basically like, okay, if Kendrick's right about everything he's saying, that is Drake goes to prison.
And
That
that's
is
true.
Drake ends he is ending a career, ending any cash flow, ending anything. I genuinely think that is almost a worse outcome, and Kendrick, I think, knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And is
same
gonna,
on the Drake side, if what Drake is saying is true, Kendrick is career is at least severely harmed because he's a wife abuser, but
and
if not
honestly,
destroyed.
possibly prison time for that too,
Yeah.
depending on the severity. So
I mean,
like
the allegations against Drake are much heavier.
Yeah. But I think dulling it down to these are just people behind screens is not fair to the actual ramifications of what can happen.
And that is fair. But again, like, I do think on a level, even when you get to like how real this is and how the actual ramifications can be very severe, these people aren't on Biggie and Tupac's level. Like,
yeah, I was just saying this is like the closest thing we'll probably
get. It's the closest
to
comparison we'll get, but like these people at the end of the day are living very, very different lives than those men ever lived.
This podcast episode is going to age really poorly if one of them is killed.
Right. I have to come out and make an apology, but it's like, they murdered him.
We were wrong. Sorry.
I mean, that's what, when you look at the lyrics in Kendrick's, so like that was the thing I'd seen was there's a lawyer on TikTok that's actually going through these lyrics and like breaking them down legally. And that's one of the things he said is he was like, I don't doubt that Drake could take Kendrick to court over some of these lyrics for
this is slander
to life.
This is slander and libel.
Yeah, but
and
even
threat.
just like, threat to life, because there's a line where he says, Kendrick says like, plan for this stop in Compton to be your last stop.
That's wild. Yeah. That's a legit, I'll kill you.
And that's like, if Drake takes it that way, then 100% that could be like a conspiracy for murder.
Okay, we got several things for this editor's note. First of all, the way Drake has been saying all of these things and to prove that Kendrick has been abusive to his fiance is that she doesn't follow him on Instagram. But her brother came out on Twitter in support of Kendrick. So at least for me and Anthony Fantano, when I was watching him, you don't do that if your sister's getting abused by her fiance. You don't come out publicly and support them. And then the smallest editor note, Kendrick says, plan for Oakland to be your last stop, not Compton.
And so that is kind of like part of the issue is that Drake and Kendrick are both lobbying those threats at each other. And those connections can exist. I don't know if they do or not. I don't know enough about both of their lives to know if they have those kinds of connections, but those connections can exist for anybody.
I've got them.
You do?
You do?
I've got those connections, yeah.
how
Suddenly a
did
little
that
more,
happen?
little more respectful of old Cordy.
You do have a connection to Chuck Norris. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Chuck Norris.
I could have any of y'all killed if you keep making those silly little jokes about me. That's for sure.
Cordell, more cordless.
Corsmel, it's right there. Just say Corsmel.
Fuck.
It's right there.
See, I already know the nickname that Cordell doesn't like, so I just keep it to myself. I don't put that on Junk House. I don't.
Is it the one I got in middle school?
It's the one you got in middle school.
You know what? I'm okay for that to be on the Junk House. Samantha, have you heard this nickname?
I don't think so.
Okay, so in a middle school gym class, I began receiving a nickname. And it didn't last too long, but it was there, and it was Cordildo.
Oh, I wasn't even
Very
thinking
middle
of that
school.
one.
They got me
middle
that
school.
one. Yeah, Caleb, what were you thinking of?
Pillsbury Dough Girl.
Oh yeah, that one's a classic.
That's the one I've heard.
Yeah, the Pillsbury Dough Girl. There's a lot of them out there. Cordy is a man of many nicknames.
Yeah.
A client at work lately has taken to calling me Cordelius Smelius. And that one hurts pretty deep, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not a Smelius. And I'll go on the record and say that right now.
I don't even know what that is, but I know you're not that.
I'm not, right?
Not that.
Totally
You're
not a
that.
Smelius. I'm just not.
But yeah, no, Pillsbury Dough Girl is one of the
That's a good one. Yeah.
It makes
They're
me
all
laugh.
great is the thing. Like none of my nicknames are undeserved.
Here's the thing.
Fair.
My nicknames growing up were just my last name.
Yeah.
Like it was like something Burley. Big Burley was very common. Big Burley or Burley Child, 100%.
I think I've explained mine, right? Pookie.
No.
When I was a baby, I projectile vomited.
Pukey.
Yeah, so it was Pukey because my grandfather gave nicknames to everybody. And then whenever I got a little older, my grandfather, I think probably a year after he started calling me Pukey, whenever I started having consciousness, he was like, maybe that's kind of a rude nickname. We'll
Maybe
change it to
Pookie
That
instead,
sounds
yeah.
a little bit better.
Oh,
That's hilarious.
wild. I had no clue about that.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Pookie. That's for sure.
Pookie's great.
That's for sure.
I'm trying
All
to
my
think of
homies
what-
love Pookie.
And there's the person on TikTok that's like Pookie, his wife. Have you seen? Have
Yeah. It's-
Okay.
Olivia references that all the time, or like not all the time, but Olivia will reference that, and I'm always like, yeah, I've seen it. I've seen like one video from a while ago.
Yeah. Pookie's looking absolutely scrumptious tonight. It's this very southern guy and his wife that he calls Pookie, and they do like fit checks before going on dates. And the dude is just like obsessed with his wife. It's pretty cute. But he calls her Pookie, and he's like, Pookie's wearing my favorite dress on her. She looks absolutely stunning. And she's just like, oh, stop. I'll find some.
That's
I'll find
love,
some
baby.
video for it.
That's love.
It's cute. It's cute. People have been clowning on them all the time, though, because it's,
See, the one that I saw was a guy doing that but it was a British guy showing off his wife. So
Okay.
in my head, they're always British.
Okay.
Nah, they're
So,
pretty southern if I'm remembering correctly.
and you
They might
probably
be-
are.
I'm gonna say it. Okay.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh,
Pookie looks
God.
absolutely fire tonight, is what he says.
This is precious. I will say, looking at them, I feel a sharp sting of I don't like you just on your face. I'm not gonna lie.
They're very
to you.
white.
Their
they're very
faces make
southern.
me not like them. I thought
Apparently they're from
if they were
Georgia.
if they were more white trash, I'd actually be a lot more okay with this.
Yeah, they're white rich.
Yeah,
Richy rich.
it's the wealth that makes me not like it as much.
Yeah, and the videos are mainly them like explaining where they got their outfit from. So it is
Yeah.
a little bit grosser. It's not like, hey, we're going on a date now.
Right.
We're
It's
going
less
on a date and I'm wearing
adoration.
Louis Vuitton.
Yeah. But I'm gonna say it, right? On the
Say
Pookie
it.
front. If any other grown adult heard how any grown adult couple talks to each other when no one's around, everyone
Mhm,
would get clowned on, right?
Amen.
Like the sweet, cheesy, cute talk, it's ludicrous. At least for me personally, right? Like if anyone heard how my wife and I talk to each other when no one is around, they'd think we were
Jail.
lunatics.
No.
I think the amount of inside jokes that build up is what really makes it
Mhm.
sound like a lunatic. And that happens with like any friend group because like I think Sammy and I's vibe on a podcast is different than when we're off because there is a point where if Sammy and I are talking, it will just go down to like sounds and we will understand what each other is saying. You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Or like
exactly.
Cordell and I, it also gets to the point where it's like inside references or like even not if it's inside references between us, it's like inside baseball references to games we both know, like franchises we both know. It just turns into that. And like we sound insane.
Like I just
Um,
sent Caleb a Snapchat the other day and was like, "Hey, that new season of of Matt Wonderful that I'm doing High Seas is gonna be Sly Cooper 2." What does
and
that mean? I'm
I
never gonna tell
instantly
you.
knew.
Means
I
nothing.
instantly-
It
I
means
know.
zero
Are you kidding
things.
But Caleb knows.
I know.
Caleb
I
knows.
know because that game fucks.
Sick.
That game is one of the best games of all time.
It might be my favorite Sly game.
Sly
need to
Cooper
replay.
3 exists for me.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
And Sly Cooper 4 doesn't exist.
I remember playing it and not completely hating it.
I thought it was pretty bad.
Time travel though. Yeah. Cordell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I think part of it's too is, you say one word in a cutesy manner one time, and then 2 years later, half the words you say to each other are not how you pronounce words,
Mhm.
and it's not how anything works, but you can't stop now. You're being precious all the time.
Does that bleed into into reality?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
But also TikToks or YouTube or whatever
Fair.
that you both really like.
Yep.
Because I know one that like I really like that bleeds into when I'm talking to Olivia is there was one where it's like this person who is being bullied and the person who's receiving the bullying says, I don't really know why you're being mean to me right now. And it's that kind of voice. And I'll break into that sometimes. It's like you're kind of being mean to me right now, and like that kind of voice, and it's just it's bad.
Why are you being mean to me right now? I really like hey, that's you as a baby.
That's you as a baby.
You don't remember that? That's you as
I
a
do.
baby.
That's you.
As a baby.
Caleb remembers it.
I remember that.
Pepperidge Farms. Remember.
Pepper Charms remembers.
But it's just I do love the way that like how weird intimacy gets when you've known a person for a really long time and you spend a lot of time together, you get freaky. Like,
you get a little weird.
just the way you connect and talk just gets very strange. I have a friend who we get lunch together once a week, and we spend about 20 minutes catching up, and then the next 30 minutes, because we're just in her office at work, like I bring lunch and we just hang out. The last 30 minutes are us just like just like random songs and junk for 20, 30 minutes. No rhyme, no reason. Just crazy.
Now that's friendship.
That's friendship.
That's kind of what this podcast has been, especially this episode. We kind of just talked about Caleb and I's hyperfixation for most of it. And then now we're like, it's about boop, babbity boop, boop.
And I do love the magic of this podcast that, you know, like I had zero knowledge or interest or stake in what we talked about today, but you two did. And I got to just be the third person observing it, you know?
Yeah. I love that we have a place for our hyperfixations.
Yeah.
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 Kendrick is sick as hell.
We still need to just get Kendrick. Okay, Cordell, I know we've talked about Kendrick before and been like, if you listen to one album, listen to this. I still think just the 2 albums to listen to, if you're ever like, I want to know why they love it so much, is To Pimp a Butterfly and Damn. Those are the 2. Damn got him a Pulitzer. So
Yeah.
I think we had that conversation and my brain erased all thoughts and then I didn't remember it.
that's fair.
And I
That's
think
fair.
that'll happen to this one too.
That's also fair.
I can't control it. I really don't try to do this to you.
That's just what happens to this podcast. We talk and record for an hour, and then I think our brains go, oh, that's recorded, so I don't have to remember it.
No,
and just
yeah,
goes out the ears.
The same thing happens to my brain with any show I've ever done. Like any performance I've ever done ever, the moment it is over, my brain wipes it clean. I do not remember lines. I do not remember choreography. I forget everything immediately.
It's just too much information to keep in your brain.
I'm just pretty dumb.
Same. We've never admitted to being smart on this podcast.
And we never
have, we
will.
were wrong.
We quite often say the opposite.
We're not dodging the dummy allegations.
Yeah.
We're pretty dumb. Anyway, I saw Hosier last night.
Oh yeah, we
concert.
completely
Yeah.
forgot about talking about that.
It was a great concert. It was a great concert. One of my wife's favorite artists, so we had to go. We got the last of one of the pins that they had for the concert.
Ooh, okay.
That was cool. We got a really pretty poster that we're going to try to find a frame for.
Nice.
Because it's just really pretty. It's a real pretty poster.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It is wild because like some artists, you go see them live and you're like, well, that doesn't sound like the recording, but it's still good.
Right.
No, Hosier sounds like the recording. Like it is
Yo.
pretty dead on.
That's just what
And there's-
Hosier sounds like.
Yeah, like he just sounds, and it's also just really good. And he
Did he take
performed
you to
some
church?
songs I was not
Did he?
expecting.
Did he take you to church?
He took to church. That was the final song
Yeah.
before he came out for the encore.
I will
Makes
say
sense.
too, my theory is that the big difference in whether an artist sounds like how do I say this? So when it's like, oh, this artist sounds exactly like they do on the album versus that artist sounds not the same at all live, it is whether or not they are classically trained in any regard. If they have any
Mhm.
vocal performance training, they're going to
Yeah.
sound the same in person and on the album. You can tell who was like self-taught and never received formal training because their albums, they do things that are very bad for their throat. They do things that are very bad for their voice that do a lot of damage. And then you wonder why they don't have a good voice a year and a half down the road and why they're like, Like, some people just do not know how to take care of their voice and how to sing safely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the other difference for Hosier's case is that instead of doing the thing where it's like, I'm going to take as few people as possible on the road with me, he had 2 keyboardists, a drummer, 2 backup singers who were also playing synthesizers and percussion, a bass player, another guitar player in addition to him, a violinist, and a cellist.
And that's also the difference is some artists are really big on the performance side of their show, and some are big on the singing side. And Hosier's obviously big on the singing side of his performances.
Yeah. He's very big on that, and the performance is really cool because the lighting is always really well done.
But he's not going to be doing a dance. So you're there to watch him park and bark, which means the rest of the presentation needs to be good.
Yes. And I think one of the really cool things is that on the set list from last night was a song that actually inspired Olivia's character for the upcoming season. He performed a song called Abstract Psychopomp. If anybody wants to listen to that, it's a very good song, and it sounded nearly identical to the album. It was killer.
Hell frickin' fra.
Right? You know what? If you want an artist that also sounds identical to the album, because I've seen a lot of live videos, it's the Reverend Horton Heat, and we get to use their song Psychobilly Freak Out off the album Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em. That's our opening and closing theme song, and it's so good.
And it's so good, just like this episode. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you should rate and review us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We would really appreciate that. We also have a Twitter and a TikTok. If you have a VPN, you can access TikTok after this year, probably what I'm going to do, as well as invest in some VPNs on the stock market so I can make some money off of TikTok's demise. But yeah, Junkhouse Pod on both of those.
Yeah, and if you like emails as much as I like emails, then you should email us. And you should do that at junkhousemailinbox@gmail.com. We would love to hear your thoughts. We would love to hear your diss tracks of the 3 of us, actually.
Yeah.
We have done some heinous things, and we do need to be taken down a notch for them.
I would not. I don't want that.
You do.
I'm fragile.
Okay.
I'll cry.
Do a diss track of me and or Samantha, and then do a words of affirmation track for Caleb.
Yeah.
Yo, fuck Sammy. Caleb is great. Yo, fuck Cordell. Caleb is awesome.
Caleb like smells good, and the other 2 are farts. Yeah, like hit us
jump
with
back and
that.
forth.
Yeah, like really bounce between how much we suck and how much Caleb is the world's best boy.
Yeah.
Here's my take. Ready? Yo, Cordell somehow has the ability to make a microphone sound good, even though historically that microphone should sound bad. Yo, Sammy's really good at editing podcasts. Caleb has cool hair.
Woo! Wait, that was just a comment.
Okay, fine. Fine. I'll fine. Okay, I'll write a show. Sammy likes One Piece. Cordell likes Magic the Gathering. Caleb.
You can be nice to yourself.
Okay,
yeah,
I can.
Nice
Okay.
It was just
Caleb cooks a mean chili.
True. Fuck
there you go. There you go.
Well, as we say every week,
time to get some of this mean chili. You want to
come on over, eat Caleb's chili.
I made a nice chili.
Can we make the episode title My Chili Recipe?
Sure.
Like the whole recipe or just my chili? Just
what if the description is your chili recipe?
The description's the chili recipe, and the title is Caleb's chili recipe.
Yes.
It's a psychobilly freak out.